All right, my friends, good morning. Welcome back to another Total OS show, another Total OS podcast for this Wednesday morning. Hope all is well. This will be a quick one. First of all, it was a pleasure, a joy catching up with some of you this past Sunday morning. We will probably do it again this Sunday coming up around 8:30 my time, meaning 8:30 Eastern time or 8:30 New York time here in the United States. So, yeah, tune in this Sunday morning if you can. Should be fun. For today, we're going to talk about something I alluded to, I mentioned yesterday about System 76. Well, it looks like they're going to build their own desktop environment apparently, to replace their current GNOME desktop, their version of GNOME desktop, which is called Cosmic. And I would have to agree, I think it is sorely needed. I am actually running this in Linux in Zorin OS 16 Pro, which is fantastic. If you want a GNOME desktop environment, check out Zorin. That being said, as fantastic as Zorin is, this is running substantially slower than Windows 11 in a dual boot. It's not Zorin's fault. That's just the way GNOME is. That's pretty bad when Windows is faster than Linux, but that's another story altogether. Let's go ahead and go to the feed reader here, and I'm running this. This is the application feeds that's pre-installed in Zorin OS 16 Pro. So I'll go through this as quickly as I can. I hope this is going to be okay on YouTube. I'm not monitoring it right now. Once again, the GNOME desktop environment, after 10 years of development, there really hasn't been that much improvement in my opinion. It looks cool, but that's about it. All right. So this is from OMG Ubuntu. Let's go through this here. All right, so obviously System 76 is an American company. I believe they're based in Denver, I think. Someone correct me on that. So they have their own Pop! OS that ships with the Cosmic desktop. Well, they are apparently working on an all-new Rust-based desktop. Earlier versions of Pop! OS were modest reskins of Ubuntu, as a lot of them are. And actually, the Cosmic desktop, I took a brief look at it. It seems okay. Yeah. All right, so let's move on here. GNOME extensions. The plain Jane GNOME desktop without extensions to make it more user-friendly, without having these extensions making the desktop more functionable. The plain Jane vanilla desktop of GNOME is pretty much almost worthless, especially for beginners. All right, so it says here that GNOME extensions are, as some GNOME developers are keen to pointing out, a sandy foundation to build on. All right, I'll let you guys figure that one out. These are things we'd like to do that we simply can't achieve through extensions in GNOME. Extensions in general feel like a hack. Okay, and what we want to do with our desktop differs from GNOME. So it's not like the option to merge Pop Shell and Cosmic into GNOME Shell would be a welcome thing. This is one of the engineers at System 76. Recent disagreements between System 76 engineers and the GNOME developers are said to not have hastened the potential switch to a homegrown shell. However, you don't have to be a fortune teller to forecast that System 76 ambitions for Cosmic will eventually fall out of sync with a platform moving in a very different direction. Look, System 76, they make great computers, great service. Yeah, if you're looking for a Linux-based machine that's built here in the States, check out System 76. Full disclosure, I'm not being sponsored by System 76. So just to let you guys know, from what I've seen and heard, I don't currently have a System 76 machine. I wouldn't mind trying one, but that being said, you may want to check out System 76. All right, so moving down here, what about the overall look and layout and feel, I guess? Well, the goal is to create something similar to existing Cosmic desktop, to the existing Cosmic Desktop Experience. It would make sense. Do we need another DE, though, is the question. In this case, yes. If this is something to replace GNOME, it is sorely needed. Once again, when you have anything that's 10 years in development, whether it's a form of Linux or Windows or Mac or Chromebook or anything, and after 10 years it still feels well fragmented, it's pretty bad. Look, I don't know, maybe GNOME needs to die. Maybe. Alright, so the topic of fragmentation will undoubtedly rear its head when the new project starts to pick up steam. This was mentioned a couple years ago by the father of modern-day Linux, Linus Torvalds. He said he was disappointed after 25 years plus of him releasing his Linux code that we still don't have a standardized Linux desktop besides the Chromebook. Okay, and the Chromebooks are fantastic, by the way. And I think he actually likes Chromebooks because they just work. There is no fragmentation in a Chromebook. But that being said, fragmentation is something I would have to agree has been a problem with the Linux desktop. Excuse me. Fragmentation chokes me up. All right, but as Murphy goes on to explain, none of us would be here today if people weren't brave enough to take the next step with a new solution to an existing problem. You're likely now using some software that was just recently developed as an alternative to something. Distributions and people will naturally gravitate towards the best solutions over time, and sometimes the best solution for an individual is not the most popular desktop environment. True, but too much of anything, even love, is not necessarily a good thing. Too many desktops, too much Linux, I guess, is not necessarily a good thing. Maybe that's not the best way to explain it, but anyway, so let's scroll down here. For those of you joining in late, I am running this off of Zorn OS 16 Pro, which features their customized version of the GNOME desktop. It's great. It's fantastic. I love Zorn, but it's slower than Windows. And that's disappointing. Not to Zorn, but the GNOME desktop. All right, moving along. Great. So when can I try it? New desktops aren't built overnight, so it's going to be a little while before we see any possible fruits of the effort. Let me grab another sip of tea here. Hang on. All right. My guess is probably next year. As we are recording this, the end of this year, 2021, my guess is probably summer of next year. The new shell will be written from scratch. It sounds like some existing GT components will be retained. They are already using GTK RS for all of the stuff. My assumption is that it's likely to see some components in GTK for the foreseeable future, according to this gentleman from System 76. In all, an exciting development. Yeah, the GNOME desktop has been a disappointment. I wish Ubuntu would have kept the Unity because, well, for one thing, it was faster. GNOME is slow. I know some of you still can't believe there was a comment last night. One of you saying, "Toss, baby, what? Windows 11 is better than Linux?" Well, it's better than GNOME Linux. It's more fun to use, it's more functional, and it's faster. What can I say, guys? It's some of you can't believe it. That is understandable. But I have one of two options. I can lie and tell you that Windows 11 sucks, or I can tell you the truth. And Windows 11 has been fantastic in a full install, and the GNOME desktop has been a disappointment. So this article, once again, is for OMG Ubuntu. Go ahead and check it out. Let me know what your thoughts are. Yeah. So what else can I say? You guys tell me what you think about all this. So we definitely need something to replace GNOME. After 10 years, I mean, can you imagine if Apple, Mac OS, or Google's Chrome OS or Windows was still not finished, not finalized after 10 years? You guys think about that and you guys tell me. All right, so that's my thoughts on this. I need to start my day. It is almost 10 a.m. here locally. I might be on this evening around 7, 8 a.m. or 7 or 8 p.m. this evening. We may do a Comments Corner live. So those of you who catch this and watch this till the end, you'll know that maybe this evening between 7 and 8 p.m. my time, New York time, I will comment on some of your comments. It's been a while since we've done a Comments Corner live, so that should be fun. That's all I have for this one. I'll catch you on the next one. If you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss the next entertaining, hopefully, Total OS live chat. Take care. Enjoy whatever you use. I'll catch you on the next one. Be safe out there. Arrivederci. Take care.